All right. Well, I just did a 15-minute recording and the microphone was off. So I'm starting over. Obviously, now I have read today's daily reflection, but I should start the video by saying, welcome. It's sober sunrise. It is not sunrise though. It's 5:10 p.m. Wednesday, June 25th. I am not well physically. I have an ear infection that came out of nowhere. I'm now losing my voice as well. So just a mess. I just haven't been feeling good all day, and that's why I'm just now getting to the daily reflection. I wasn't going to do it at all, but then I remembered that we don't get to take a day off from recovery. So I sat my butt down, and I'll try this again for the second time. The reading today says a two-way street. If we ask God, if we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions. But in no case does He render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. From the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 65. When I prayed, I used to omit a lot of things for which I needed to be forgiven. I thought that if I didn't mention these things to God, He would never know about them. I did not know that if I had just forgiven myself for some of my past deeds, God would forgive me also. I was always taught to prepare for the journey through life, never realizing that until I came to AA, when I honestly became willing to be taught forgiveness and forgiving, that life itself is the journey. The journey of life is a very happy one as long as I'm willing to accept change and responsibility. Okay, so back to the top. If we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions. If you don't believe in God, that's okay. These same lessons still apply. If we ask to be forgiven of our derelictions, we will be. Your higher power will forgive you, because just asking to be forgiven shows that you are beginning to atone for any mistakes that you have made. It doesn't, as it says, it doesn't absolve us of everything. It doesn't render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. We still have work to do, but it's a good start. If you say, I please forgive me for the things that I've done. That's a good start. Please forgive me, and then be specific for the things that I've done. That's the even better start. It's acknowledging to God or to the universe or to another person that you acknowledge that you did these things. You're no longer avoiding saying it or being honest about it. And that is a good way to start to get forgiveness and to be absolved for some of these things that we've done. It does not immediately mean that the work is over just by saying, please forgive me for XYZ. We still have a lot of work to do. It reminds me of Michael Scott in The Office trying to file bankruptcy trying to declare bankruptcy by shouting, I declare bankruptcy. That's not how it works, Michael. And this isn't how, this is how it works, but it doesn't end there. We do have to admit what we did wrong, and then we have to do the work to make up for those things that we did. When I prayed, I used to omit a lot of things for which I needed to be forgiven. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say a lot. Maybe there are a lot. There are things that I did that I am not proud of, that no other human being knows about. And I could take those things to my grave and not ruffle any feathers. But that wouldn't be me living in my full truth. And I wouldn't be able to really look myself in the mirror and look at myself and say, okay, you did everything you could to be the best version of yourself that you can. Because while nobody else would know about it, I would. And that's not okay for me. I want those things to be out in the open. They say sunlight is the best disinfectant. Keeping things in the dark and keeping them a secret, it's like growing mold. Mold needs a cold, dark place to live. Well, maybe it's a warm, dark place to live. I don't know. I can't think straight, but it lives in the dark best, and I don't want to live in the dark, and I don't want mold growing inside of me, even though that's how I feel today. So I need to get these things out, and And whether the people that I have to tell these things to forgive me or not is up to them. I don't get to decide that. And I'll talk to my sponsor and say, here's the situation. And what a sponsor is supposed to do is help you decide, is it worth it? Are these people going to be hurt by what you say in a way that is worse than what would happen if you never told them? And in some cases that could be true. I don't think in my case any of these things are going to be something where like I'm going to tell somebody something and their whole world is going to be turned upside down, right? That's not the kind of thing that I have in my closet right now. Those skeletons might live in your closet. They might live in someone else's closet. You might have the ones that if you come clean, someone's world might be flipped upside down. So you have to talk to your sponsor about that. Say, is it something I should, put out there? But again, I can't decide how other people are going to react. When I prayed, I used to omit a lot of things for which I needed to be forgiven. So I don't want to omit anything anymore. I thought that if I didn't mention these things to God, he would never know about them. But I would, and you will. I didn't know that if I had just forgiven myself for some of my past deeds, God would forgive me also. Yeah, I have forgiven myself for the things that I've done because I know that with a clear mind and an open heart, I won't do those things. I forgive them. I forgive myself for doing them. I did bad things. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person. And the same goes for you. If you did bad things, that doesn't automatically make you a bad person. But if you're consciously making choices that harm other people, then you have to really, and you're sober, then you have to really take a step back and evaluate some really important things. If you're doing it when you're still under the influence of your drug of choice or your drink of choice, the first thing you have to do is stop using those things. That's the most important thing. Because we can be forgiven, but we have to do some work to be forgiven. We don't just get to say, I'm sorry. Our people are tired of hearing us say, I'm sorry. Actions now. Actions, not words. You got to take some action. I did not know that if I had just forgiven myself for some of my past deeds, God would forgive me also. The universe will forgive you. If you say, I want to be forgiven, you put that energy out there, it won't go unnoticed. Let's just say that. I was always taught to prepare for the journey through life, never realizing it until I came to AA, when I honestly became willing to be taught forgiveness and forgiving, that life itself is the journey. Yeah. Life is a journey. And it was Aerosmith who said, life's a journey, not a destination. And they're not the only ones who said that, I'm sure, but that's what came to my mind. Because you can't be taught to be prepared for this journey. You can be taught to be prepared for some legs of the journey, but there's no owner's manual for life. There's no playbook for every single person that always works. And I don't care what upbringing you got, where you're from, what color your skin is, what your gender is. There is no playbook that works for everyone who's just like you. I'm a white male from America, right? I should have it really easy by all accounts. But there's still lots of paths along this journey that can really throw us from our regular path, and then all of a sudden we wake up and we're like, what path am I on now? Like, how did I get here? So it's like, how do I get back to the path that I want to be on? Or do I have to start blazing a new trail? And all that kind of good stuff comes with the work that we do after we get sober, because life is a journey. And then learning to forgive is really challenging, because a lot of people have had a lot of really atrocious things done to them. And finding it in their hearts to forgive the people who've done unto them these horrible, horrible things might take a whole lifetime. But resentment and hanging on to those things without being able to forgive other people, resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It doesn't work that way. So if you're hanging on to that resentment, you're poisoning yourself, and the other person doesn't even know what's going on. You got to get that stuff out, and you have to be able to at least attempt forgiveness. It's not going to be easy. It doesn't happen overnight necessarily, but with time, they say time heals all wounds. So give it time, but if you just let that stuff fester inside of you, you're just poisoning yourself. You have to try to learn to forgive. The journey of life is a very happy one as long as I am willing to accept change and responsibility. That's a big one. Accepting change and responsibility. Acceptance is the answer. Accept that we don't have control. Accept that things change and we can't control that things change. Our actions might cause things to change, right? But we can't go back and take back our actions. All we can do is adapt to what's happening. If my actions caused my wife to want to file for divorce, that's what's happening. I have to accept that change. If I can't go back in time and change my actions, which I can't, and I can't convince her that I can change to a better person, then we're going to get divorced. I have to accept change, and I have to accept the responsibility of the part that I played in those events. So if I can do that, if I can accept change and responsibility, if I'm willing to accept them, the journey of life is a very happy one. Okay, I'm going to keep it short because I'm not feeling good. I just want to go lay back down and put more eardrops in. But thank you again for showing up for another video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. If you like the channel, subscribe, please. That will help more people find the channel. The more followers, the more subscribers, the more likes. It does nothing for my ego, I promise you, but it will help other people find the channel, and maybe it'll help some more people get on the path to recovery or stay on the path to recovery. Yeah, so, and also share this if you know someone who needs to hear these messages. Share it with them. Okay. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, you are enough and you are loved, and keep doing the hard work. If you don't know, if you don't understand something, ask questions of someone who understands it. Find someone who has what you want and go ask them questions about how they got it, and then be willing to do whatever they say you need to do within reason. Okay. Thank you very much again for coming back to Sober Sunrise. Love you all. See you tomorrow, hopefully.